Okay. All right. All right. Oh, shoot. I know what I was going to do. I forgot something. Mm. Yo, what's up? No, I mean, writing is important for science, man. It's important to synthesize ideas in science in order to actually like be able to follow through with it. It actually is really important. Oh, right. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, what's up, Michelle? All right. Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are off. We need to what? How's it go? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Not much.
So I just have one question for you, based on kind of what you put in the chat here. So I guess you're a science guy. It says microbiology. You're a biologist, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just to get this started off, what do you think about the whole? I don't know what we can say on here. I'm not a big TikTok guy, but what do you think about the whole vaccine issue that we had half a decade ago?
There was no vaccine problem. I mean, we had a really amazing breakthrough that we as a country invested in, like 30 years of development, and we made the most efficacious, the highest efficiency, the best vaccine that we've ever done before for coronaviruses because of that.
Well, so which one are you referring to? Because some have been proven to be efficacious and others not so much, right?
The mRNA lipid nanoparticle ones.
Right, but there's
Mhm.
what, five, six, seven variations of that at this
Mm,
point?
no, I mean, there's like the mRNA, the, I mean, you have the Moderna, Pfizer, they're all licensed from BioNTech, so it's all it's pretty much the same
Right,
technology.
but licensing doesn't mean anything, and you understand that as a scientist, I'm sure, right?
Okay, what's your point?
Licensing does not mean that it's efficacious, right? It means that it proved to be efficacious in some sort of trial or study
Hmm.
or whatever, but it doesn't mean that it, in reality, in truth, that it's efficacious,
No,
right?
that's what a study is. It's a reality. It's a reality based thing, and yeah, we have a really good epidemiological studies now that showed about 3 million people's lives were saved from the pandemic, like globally.
Okay.
Hmm.
Globally,
Hmm.
3 million globally.
Hmm.
I thought, okay, and you think that's a good number? You think that's
I
worth it?
think yeah, yeah, of course. What do you think? We lost
I
1.2
think
million
absolutely
people.
not. I
Okay,
think absolutely not. I mean,
okay, all right.
and here's the thing, right? You have to run a cost, and I'm coming this from a finance perspective, right? That's how I'm educated, finance and economics. That's where I work, and I was basically pushed. I was pushed into this at a young age. You know, I was whatever 19, 20 years old when these things came out, and basically my mother told me, listen, you're not living at home. You know, over when you're in college, you're not living here unless you get jabbed every time you come back. So I
Good.
was I was kind of pushed into that uh, situation.
Hmm.
And the problem that I have is for me, and you must agree with this. For me at that point in time, as a 20 year old guy who's perfectly healthy and probably way more healthy than the average guy, for me, the cost benefit is it's certainly detrimental for me to take the vaccine. Right,
No,
that's been proven.
no, that's not true.
And on a
That's
societal
not true.
level, you can
That's not true.
argue.
No, that's not true.
Interesting. Tell me.
People
Tell me
lied.
why.
People lied to you. No, it is three
People lied
million.
to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
people. It's actually 3 million in the U.S. So it was a Yale study that found that. So I was
Oh,
wrong.
okay. So you were totally wrong because 3 million out of the world
No,
population is basically
I wasn't totally
definitely it's
wrong.
definitely not statistically significant. 3 million in the world population. That would be ridiculous to even say, right?
I wasn't totally
So
wrong. I mean, it is like
that
I
wouldn't be.
misremembered.
I mean, at the rate that people were getting infected, 3 million would be a drop in the bucket. I mean,
Sure.
really. Okay. Um, and even so, 3 million. All right, and here's the real problem that I have with this whole narrative, right? That
But
yes,
you didn't
this is
wait. Stop. You. It's
sure.
still as a young person. It's still good to get the vaccine, and we're actually finding now that it's really important to get vaccinated, especially with the mRNA lipid nanoparticle stuff, because it allows your body to fight cancers better. So people are living longer with cancers, and it also makes tumors that are inside their body more susceptible to anti-tumor drugs. And there's
I'm not.
also cardio protective impacts
All right,
for the
man.
vaccine
Hold
specifically.
on. Let let me be clear. I'm not arguing against mRNA vaccines as a whole. That would be a ridiculous thing to argue for. I'm arguing against what happened in that, and probably at this point, if and there's still new COVID-19, or I guess not COVID, but new COVID variants coming out, right?
Hmm.
It's basically running as an asymptote to the influenza virus. That's what we're seeing, really. It's really no more or less dangerous than the influenza virus, which changes every year. Hence, why you got to go get a vaccine every single year.
Yeah, that's not
For
correct. I mean, the flu doesn't like have long COVID symptoms. So long COVID is a
well,
neurological
okay,
disorder that we're having, that people are seeing, and you can actually get it asymptomatically. So you can actually not develop COVID-19 symptoms, but simply have a SARS-CoV-2 infection. And basically, these things add up to you developing like vertigo or losing taste or
yeah,
smell, and like it's just tremors. There's a whole host of problems that could be associated with long COVID.
yeah. I actually have a friend who experienced, and he actually hasn't fully recovered. And he granted he was the one person who didn't get the vaccine. So I understand that argument. Um, but I don't necessarily think that you can argue for the fact that for every healthy, say 18 to 50-year-old, that it's a net benefit.
It is.
And so there's new vaccines coming out every year. So should every healthy person, right, healthy, kind of 20 to 50-year-old person get the new vaccine every single year
Yep.
for the rest of time?
Yes, and the flu too. So
Are you
flu
doing
and the
that?
COVID. Yes. Yeah, the flu and COVID every year. Yeah.
You're doing that.
Yeah, and I would get other vaccines if when they come out too. It's a privilege to have vaccines. It's not a hindrance.
Of
It's not
course it's
a
a privilege.
okay.
Of course it's a privilege, dude. Because the idea that it's a privilege just means that we have it in developed countries and many other countries don't, right? So the choice to actually get it is a privilege, and especially get it for free in many cases. That's certainly a privilege.
Sure. I mean,
I'm not
well,
arguing against that, but
okay.
the idea that you don't see any problem with how this was handled is kind of concerning.
But the Trump
It's like,
administration, there's a lot of problems that they had. I mean, I'm not saying that the Trump administration did well. Actually, it's opposite. The Lancet and the New England Medical Journal found that his actions specifically caused the death of 600,000 Americans.
all
So
right, so you're a political guy then. That's what that's
okay,
your goal
so
here.
again, so
You
just
just made it
because
political.
just no, I mean, I'm sorry, but Trump was the president during the pandemic. I mean, that is the fact. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it absolutely that is the
Under
way.
what administration, people received the majority of COVID-19 vaccinations, though? Let's be real. So if you want to make these ridiculous arguments,
They came out. I know. It sucks that Trump's the incompetence cost people to lose their life. I know it's
so you're just
you
a
can be
political
mad.
pundit.
So you can be
No,
mad.
that's what you're
You
doing.
can crash out. You can be mad. I don't care
No,
about
I'm
your
not
feelings.
crashing out.
You're
It's just
crashing
funny.
out. You're yelling. It's okay. It's okay.
It's just funny.
It's not funny.
The
It's not funny.
idea
No,
that
it's not funny. It's not funny that 1.2 million people lost their lives, and it's not funny that 600,000 died because of Trump's incompetence. So I know
How
that
many
you
people
might not
lose their
care.
life every single year because of influenza virus? Tell me that.
Dude, it's like tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. All
Yeah.
right. So and if you look at how that data is actually how that data is put together in comparison to how the COVID-19 death data was put together, you see big discrepancies, right? Would you agree with that? Because here's my problem with you is that you're presenting yourself as you're actually a political pundit under the guise of a scientist. That's the real issue.
Thank you.
Because you just brought it political. Like I didn't even talk about politics. And you just made it political.
Well, I had a lot of problems.
That's like so funny.
I had a problem. You're talking about how the pandemic was dealt with, and yeah, I do have a lot of problems with it. And yeah, the fact that how we dealt with the pandemic was shocking political. Oh my God, how we deal with things as a collective group is through governments because we work collectively to solve problems. So that's going to be politics. Oh my
Hey, and you know
God.
what's funny actually is I lean pretty far right, and the
Wow,
funny part
that's
about
very
this,
shocking.
I
Wow,
actually
I couldn't have thought of that.
no,
Wow,
of course,
wow.
but I didn't bring up politics. You did.
Okay.
So here's the thing: I actually blame Trump far more than I blame Biden for how COVID was dealt with as a whole in America and in turn the rest of the world, because guess what? We pushed on every other Western country, and then the same way we always do. We gave it away for free to the rest of the world. So but really I blame Trump for it because he pushed these clinical trials through in record-breaking time. It was the most ridiculous thing that ever happened. And guess what? Guess what, man?
It's not. You can just say one thing.
Okay.
You can say one wrong thing, and then I'll correct you, and then you can go back.
All right, correct me.
Whoa, Talenter, what's up, man? Thank you. I appreciate that. The
Funny.
Okay, so the trials, dude. They went through the same trials that every other vaccine goes through, and what they did was that they just stacked the phases. So usually they have it, so they stop, and then they have a little lag, and then they start it, and then they just have a spacing out. Because it's during the pandemic, they overlap them, which is completely fine.
And again, here's the political pundit thing again, where you say a little lag, where in terms of when you look at how even when you look at really serious issues, and when we create vaccines for these really serious viruses, it still takes 3, 5, 10 years. And what did it
You don't
take here?
know what are you
3,
talking
5,
about?
10
No, again,
months.
you don't understand how, you don't even
Okay,
understand the
cool.
process of how these things work.
Cool.
You don't,
Okay.
what's the process of making an mRNA vaccine?
I guess I should ask you, right? Because you're the scientist, but you're actually a political person.
Okay, I mean,
That's what you're doing here, right? So I'm not claiming to be a scientist. I'm
oh,
just
okay.
saying you can look at the
Okay.
data.
Okay.
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 You better be okay with it because it's the truth, man.
Okay.
If you don't have one problem with how, but you just said, oh yeah, well, Trump, how should it have been handled then? Tell me how it could have been handled where all of those 600,000 deaths that you attribute to Donald Trump,
Yep.
how could all 600,000 of them been, have been avoided? Please tell me. Give me your, or you're not an MD, I assume. You're a political pundit acting as a scientist there under the guise of, being a scientist. And who knows what your actual credentials are, but please tell me.
Are you done? Are you trying, is this how you feel
Yeah, I
better about
stopped talking,
yourself?
man. So
Is
I'm
this, are you
done.
okay? Are you all right?
These guys, man, I swear.
So it's not my opinion. It's not what I think about this.
No.
Science, the epidemiologists, the microbiologists, we can track, and we know that Trump specifically through the DHS overrode the CDC, and instead of using PPE and quarantining people, with the famous boat off of the coast of California, the vacation thing, and instead of actually quarantining them, he let them out into Southern California, which was a huge problem. Two, he basically, we know through genetics that the majority of our SARS-CoV-2 came from Europe. And basically, Europe was shutting down, and people started flying over because they thought that the planes were going to shut down. So when they got into the United States, they didn't actually quarantine, and they spread SARS-CoV-2 all throughout the country. So we know that that's the case, and we know the rate of those people coming in. We know the alpha variant, how deadly that alpha variant was before there was a vaccine, and therefore we know that yes, about 300,000 people lost their lives to vaccine hesitancy. That I think that he pushed by being a vaccine skeptic and pushing conspiracies about about COVID, and then two, specifically what I was talking about through epidemiology and the genetics of SARS-CoV-2 and Europe specifically.
So let me ask you what, and let's talk in practical terms, right?
Just
That
so you don't know,
that may
so
be
big
true.
words, so big words, you just don't understand what I'm talking about.
No,
So
no, because
it's
you
okay.
say, oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
well, most of
You
the
don't
people
understand
who
what you're
came in
talking,
and
what I'm talking
spread the
about.
virus. Okay, yeah, talk over me, please.
I will.
Of course you will.
I will.
That's what you
I will.
do.
Yeah.
Because you're a political pundit.
Yeah,
That's
you can
the truth.
you can be mad about it, but
I
everything
didn't
is
talk about
politics.
politics.
Every
You
I will
brought
dog
up
walk you in
politics.
under any topic you want
You
to come
brought
up.
up politics,
I will
dude.
I will bring up anything that I want.
This is what you're doing. You're
Mhm.
hosting a political live
Yeah.
under the guise of science.
It's science
It's
and
the silliest
politics.
thing.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't mention anything about politics in your live
Yes, I
in your
do.
description or
What are you
anything. No,
talking
you
about?
don't.
Why get mad? Stay mad. I don't care about your opinion.
Of course you don't.
Of course I don't. The only
That's
opinion,
how ridiculous is
ol-
that? That's not a very scientific view to take, huh?
I know, and the only opinion
Like
that I do
you
care
forgot
about,
the scientific method the second you think about politics.
the only
I
opinion
don't
that I
care
do
about
care
your
about.
view at
Look,
all. It's
okay,
like,
let's calm
okay,
down.
bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's all calm
Yeah,
down.
but you sound like an idiot, man.
Let's calm
That's the
down. I'm
truth.
sorry. I apologize. I apologize. Let's calm
Yeah,
down.
but you sound like a dumbass because you say these things, you know.
I'm
If
sorry.
you call yourself a scientist,
Mhm. Let's calm down. I'm sorry.
you can't say I don't care about your opinion, right?
Okay, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Let's calm down. In reality, I do
And
care.
then you do this thing. It's
I
funny.
do care about your opinion, but I care about your opinion when I ravage your mom every night and give her the best time she's ever had.
Oh my my God. So hurt, bro. You really hurt me, man.
Oh my God. Oh, so funny. I love it. I love when MAGA gets mad about talking about politics. Oh my God. Oh, that was so fun. That was fun. How's it going?
Not too bad. How you doing?
What's up?
Oh, nothing. Just wanted to hop on and let some of these MAGA people know that as a scientist, I also don't give a flying fuck about their opinions. Um,
True.
and when you're done with their mom, let me know.
I know it's just it's so frustrating, man. Like Trump made science ideological. There really isn't any way else for us to be. I mean, he has pushed scientists into the foray, by making um, scientific research of football, political football that we can, take away and we can stop unilaterally, and we can, squelch grants that they don't like. It's ridiculous.
And the other part that caught my attention was that I don't remember any part, either of undergrad or anywhere in my training, that I am supposed to like pay attention or care about people's opinions like unilaterally. Like, how is that part of the scientific method? I don't remember that part.
Yeah, man. I feel like, and um, the the whole idea of science and why people were beheaded for, you know, doing outlandish things, of going against the state, saying that the earth isn't the center of the universe, like the existence of an independent body of information where we can accrue knowledge is an affront to a political system that wants to be the sole proprietor of the truth, and that's why that's why MAGA is so specifically, mad about science.
Well, and right now it just seems to me like politics aside, like there used to be a time where conservatives, but what exactly about this administration is conservative?
Yeah.
That's the part I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah, it's
And so
not.
there's this reality distortion vortex that I feel like the people that are left clinging to this have to they have to engage in all that matters is truth on the ground. My opinion, your opinion. What happened. It's they've cornered themselves into like a categorical rejection of any common ground
Mhm.
on facts or anything. Like
Yeah.
I could sit here and say that I'm like a Reagan Republican and just argue that Trump is the worst thing. Like I don't. That's the part I don't get. This isn't even like a partisan thing. It's just
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, it anything that doesn't align with their ideology, they're going to hate, right? And they're going to say that it's not okay. I mean, and the biggest thing, and I hate that they always bring up this idea of like that science has lost credibility, that science, like, and scientists are not trusted. And it's actually the opposite. Like, physicians and scientists are actually some of the most trusted people, like, in society still, but the only ones, oh wow, sickle cell, thank you so much. Um the the people that don't trust science, they're basically projecting their own insecurity, because the one group that has a diminished trust in science is Republicans. So, and it's been a giant drop off, right? So it's just them. Like, if science did a bad job during the pandemic, you would see a universal condemnation from Democrats, independents, and Republicans. So uniquely, we know it's specifically a political, political takeout, basically.
Well, I mean, I can render unto Caesar what is Caesar's here. Like me and our colleagues have discussed this quite a bit. That I do believe that there are some things that we didn't do very well during the pandemic, and that
Mhm.
is science outreach. I have a number
True.
of friends that moved from research into science outreach. with the sort of naive belief that if we just explain it in a nicer way, that maybe. But somebody said earlier, I was on this other science panel live, and somebody said something that really I think nailed it. It almost feels like there's a loud, sort of cadre of science deniers, and it's almost like they are resentful because at one point in their life someone tried to explain something to them and they didn't get it, and now they're pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like our fault now. It's like it's not fair, and it's just it it's it's the fact that they don't have expertise in something that and knowledge that they don't have. Therefore, do I learn something about that thing? Do I expand my knowledge and fail, and and learn and go forward? No, 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 no. It can't be that. It must be science as a whole that's wrong. It's like,
Not knowing something, which is so funny that they say like, oh, you guys think you know everything. I'm like, oh no, I'm pretty stupid. Like I'm categorically not knowing anything up until today, and today I think I know the most things. But there's this like, I guess, vibe of like, if you don't know an answer to something,
mhm.
not only does nobody know, but that's a weakness.
Yeah,
That's the part that I can't like. First of all, I don't get it, so I don't know how to do that. I don't get it, so nobody does. I'm like,
exactly.
buddy, there's
Exactly. And
I don't
it's
know,
this it's the same logical fallacy that they have with like corruption, right? It's like, oh, everyone's corrupt because all levels of corruption are the same because there is a single corrupt Democrat too. It's like what it's the same failed logic. Objective ethics. Thank you so much. $20 super chat in YouTube. Thank you so much, man. Theists love to hide behind the Galileo fallacy. Quote: Scientists have been wrong before, so you cannot trust science. End quote. This is a terrible way to justify anti-science rhetoric. Science for the win. Exactly. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Um, yeah, exactly. I think.
yeah,
Go ahead. Oh, you teacupped. Um, like science has been wrong, right, in the past, but at the same time, what has fixed those mistakes in science is more science. Like it's never been a conspiracy, right? Whoa, thank you so
right.
much.
Yeah,
Dudipity,
like
thank you
everybody
so
getting
much.
everybody getting everybody getting mad at Fauci because he changed his mind, not changed his mind, but like about the mass. And it's like, well, what did you want him to do? To like get new evidence and just stick to his guns? That
I
sounds
know.
even dumber.
I
But
it that one video that he did in freaking 60 minutes, and you're just like, oh, I couldn't believe that he said that. It was so stupid. I
and I mean,
I
if people only knew how like his like H index, like he's the goat. Like we
Yeah,
happen to have like probably the, and understandably his subject matter expertise isn't novel coronaviruses, but
sure.
holy shit, the guy's like, I mean, you're a microbiologist, like the guy's like kind of a big deal.
Yeah, dude, he's legitimate. Like he's legit. Oh, Miss Andri, how's it going? Welcome. I was in your live the other day. Um, I Yeah, I mean, the way that Fauci and Hotez like have been personally attacked, like I'm actually in the QAnon conspiracy world inside of this whole thing, which is kind of wild. I've basically, I don't know if you've heard about um the salad dressing vaccines. So
Oh God. I,
basically
I was I was pretty sure that there wasn't going to be anything that you were going to pull that I hadn't, but no, I guess.
I actually this actually made it to Colbert. It's actually wild. Miss Andrea in chat, thanks for hanging out. Given how much medical research revolves around men, the response to COVID vax really surprised me. Oh, interesting. That's an interesting. Oh, okay. That's an interesting perspective. Thank you for that. Yeah, um, it was a lot of men. But they like some of the best and my favorite scientists right now are women. Frances Arnold is incredible. She got the Nobel Prize in 2017 for directed evolution stuff. She's incredible. Obviously, like Jennifer Doudna is incredible um genetics and genomics and molecular biology too. Of men's health,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
if you sample from that like older generation, it's just going to be a bunch of crusty dudes. But like,
Yeah.
man, just go one layer lower, and it's just all badass women. I mean, I think I can't think of and everyone I'm thinking of that I know that NIH at the director levels, they're all women.
Yeah. Dude, check this out. Yeah, this is so basically, all right. So we were making okay, so here this is the setup here. Okay. So um we had vaccine basically I was in a nanotechnology lab in plant lab. We were going to make things in chloroplasts. We were going to make mRNA vaccines inside of plant chloroplasts because we could make it there. And basically we got it we're going to do it in spinach, right? Because spinach is kind of like classically a really good plant that we can work with in the lab. And so basically my PI, I told my professor at the time, my PhD professor, I was like, hey, we could probably make these COVID vaccines inside of the spinach chloroplasts, and it would be a good grant. And sure enough, we got the grant, and that's it. So basically, for somehow, some way, Michael Flynn got it that this is what Michael Flynn interpreted that made it onto Colbert, and then it doesn't end though. So then I thought that was it, like, and then a couple years later, basically Tennessee outlawed our research. So basically,
Oh my god,
so Tennessee, what they basically saw
no.
that for no reason, it wasn't like we were doing like incredibly new things or anything because of it. But yeah, basically here we go. We can just watch it.
Wait, so the most research that they've ever done in this kind of like, gene transcription is to ban it.
Well, we did make the mRNA inside of plant chloroplasts. We did
No,
make
no, I
that.
mean, no, I
Yeah.
mean, no, I mean, these Tennessee
Oh
legislators
yeah.
had never heard of any of these terms that they
Exactly.
were now putting into this bill.
So they're debating on the floor of this Tennessee House. The guy was like, the Republican was like, how do we know if something has a vaccine in it? If it's a food product, we could just be eating too many vaccines.
Oh
It's
God.
like what?
Forwarding a bill
I
that
got.
would prohibit
Yeah.
vaccines from being put on food is heading to the governor.
Oh, thank
HB
you.
1894
Thank
passed
you,
the Senate
Ghostbusters.
yesterday after Tennessee Republicans brought concerns about scientists putting vaccines in the produce at grocery stores. In previous discussion, Representative Scott Sapicki said people at the University of California, Riverside could, quote,
That's
put
me.
a vaccine into a head of lettuce.
Does the sponsor
Oh
know
God.
of any instances of there being food offered in the state of Tennessee that contains vaccines in some kind of a retail or public forum?
Senator Hensley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No, I do not know any specific examples, but certainly they are developing this process, and actually Congress has actually dealt with this as well.
The
It's
bill
me.
adds a new definition to the word drug in the state's code to say drugs are also food that contains a vaccine or vaccine material. It passed the Senate by a vote.
Dude, like
Oh
what
my
is
God.
up, guys? Like this is what we live in, you know what I mean? This is the
And like
world
to
we live
besmirch the
in.
regions, and that I went to say I got a PhD from San Diego.
Oh,
I have
nice,
a
dude.
I have a question for you, and
Sure.
I'm wondering if you can corroborate something.
Today, people will say
Sure.
their final
Microbiologist.
goodbye.
Go for it.
So, the Wuhan, fire, the fact that they put it next to this wet market. My understanding is that it's because they had done, some analysis, and that a novel coronavirus that was only going to be able to horizontally transcribe from a pangolin or a bat was the like known vector.
Yeah, it has to do with the location of the bat caves. So basically there were we know that the location of the bats bats are really good for, in bat caves specifically, are really good for respiratory viruses because they're damp, they're wet, they're hot, and bats are really close together and they're constantly running into one another. So they're just really good repositories or reservoirs for coronaviruses. SARS-CoV-1 the idea was that that's where that one came around that area, that, and basically SARS-CoV-2 probably would too. And sure enough, it did.
Right.
So
You're
that's
right. It turns out
yeah,
people spend their 15 years, just to get the PhD. They're pretty good at their jobs.
yeah. And the let's see. I wanted the latest paper is actually really interesting. And they actually go into the sequencing specifically. Let me try to pull up the paper. SARS-CoV-2 origins back. They did population genetics of all of the nearby caves, and they found basically all the building blocks that was necessary in order to find like SARS-CoV-2. So
Huh.
it's been, I mean, there is not a single piece of scientific evidence to corroborate the lab leak hype,
Oh,
conspiracy,
yeah. No, I mean, I knew that. I mean, that part was
Yeah.
was not just that there was nothing to corroborate, but that the Kimura distance was not that there were it would have been impossible given the Kimura distance.
Yeah, so the basically Wuhan Institute of Virology doesn't even have like the right lineage of coronaviruses there in their lab. The closest one is rat G13, and that's actually kind of like 13 years before. And
Right.
yeah, it just it doesn't corroborate with the timeline.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
It's not just that there's no evidence. It's that it is like demonstrably false.
Yeah, they did all of these, like they did tons of sequencing, population genetics sequencing in all these different places. And basically what's happening with China right now is that they're disrupting a lot of these bat caves for economic development. And when they smash these caves, there's tons of migration that happens. And then, I mean, China has a unique, experience with wildlife, in that they actually have them. You can like go outside in the United States and we've killed everything, guys, but
Right.
they actually have wildlife, and that basically, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's really fascinating. Like all the sequencing that they did of all these, the tracing, all these, different, so many different species of bats and viruses that they found. It really is like incredible. Like seriously, people have been working really hard on this stuff. It's incredible. Um, and
So it wasn't a function of a wet market, because and this was a very early understanding of it, was
yeah,
that the pangolin is another transmission vector, and that they're just like, hey, there's not that many wet markets in the world.
yeah. So the best that we have is, and this came out really recent. I mean, right, what was it, July 2022, Warby 2022. So basically, they looked at all the positive cases of that outbreak, and it it doesn't the epicenter is the Wuhan market, the wet market. It isn't the Wuhan Institute of Virology. So that you can just do kind of like spatial analysis, and it's just the wet market just doesn't it's the lab is too far away, and they would have had to have too much viral load on them, and they would have been able to spread it to too many people, and it just doesn't line up with what actually it is. And I mean, the sequencing is phenomenal. They went through and took stall by stall, like they sampled all the different stalls and all the drains too, so we actually know exactly which stalls were positive, which ones weren't. And then the latest one, let's see, they
Well, right, because
actually,
the predictory paper was like 2019, that they're like, look, it's going to be a novel coronavirus, probably from one of these sources. So like,
mhm.
they'd already narrowed it down pretty far. Like yeah, that's
But at least finding this one specifically, these specific genetic building blocks, in order to, because the furin cleavage site really isn't. I mean, it is novel, right? So that, but we know where it comes from, basically, right? We
right,
understand that it's just from viral recombination of this stuff. Uh,
right. Post hoc analysis is
yeah.
it's amazing that the post hoc analysis and the prediction were as good as. But I mean, like, there's just not that many uh, um, like it's novel coronaviruses are like the thing that is coming for us. It's what is it like at least three major. I guess we can't use the word pandemic anymore, but three major outbreaks. The last three major outbreaks have all been a coronavirus, right?
Yeah, I mean, the coronaviruses are interesting because they hop around from host to host so often that it is like truly kind of interesting. I thought it was Chris Christoph. SARS. I thought it was 2024. Or is it 25? It was the latest one. I'll find it. But it's beautiful. They overlay all the viral genomes on top of all the DNA sequencing that they have of the samples of the stalls, and it's like they basically have raccoon dogs and SARS-CoV-2 genomes right on top of one another. So it's pretty incredible.
Man,
Yeah.
yeah, and then people see that and they're like, it's a conspiracy, and I'm like, first of all, have you ever gotten three scientists together to agree on anything, let alone like?
I know, dude. And you know why? Because it's stuff like this, dude. And this is what I'm talking about, where it's like people are like, "Oh, don't get political," which is so funny. People say that to me. Literally, the first week that I had a TikTok account, someone came up and was like, "Oh my God, you're talking about politics. You ruined your perfectly good science channel." I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about." And yeah, I'm sorry that we have literally whitehouse.gov, pushing conspiracies about the true origins of COVID-19. And none of
Right.
this stuff makes any sense. Like none of this is scientific evidence. Like none of this makes any sense. The virus possesses a biological characteristic that is not found in nature. That's
Well,
that's not true. Like we literally have the building blocks that we see in the bat caves, and we can see it. We've sequenced it. We know that they exist.
it's this desire to I've done a lot of research with the government, and there's this desire for there to be this like grand meta narrative, and I
Mm.
always tell people, I go like, I wish that were true, because then at least
Yeah.
we could just change the person who's in charge and get stuff. But it's like, no, it's a bunch of no oversight, cowboys, and everybody disagreeing, and like every once in a while it comes together, and more larger the universe, bends towards justice. But it usually it's just like, if man, if we could pull stuff like that off, like, are you kidding me?
I know.
Why wouldn't there be more funding at NIH?
Exactly. And in a way, conspiracy theorists actually have a grander narrative. Like they think that science is stronger than it really is, which is kind of funny. But yeah,
Right, yeah, right.
it's
Well, and not just science, but like the institution of like academic science. Like
exactly,
are you,
exactly.
if we were capable of that, why would we all be, scrambling for funding, publish, or pair? Like how, yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
Exactly. No, you're 100% right, dude. I mean, and here we go. Number 2, data shows that all COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans. This runs contrary to previous pandemics where there are multiple spillover events. This is not right. Picard 2022 shows this actually. That's exactly. It was actually two distinctly, and this is what none of these lab leak conspiracies actually know. They actually don't understand that there was actually multiple zoonotic origins of
Huh.
SARS-CoV-2. There was actually two, a week apart, 1 week apart at the wet market, there was actually a different crossover event and a separate lineage that outbroke at that same wet market.
Wow,
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, so it's like distinct, and that's what I was talking about to that guy. The Europe, you know, lineage is distinctly different than the other ones.
Huh.
We can do it. Um, and so again, just categorically not true, right? From Gish Gallop to vaccines in salad dressing. Wait, from Gish Gallop to vaccines in salad suggestions, so deserves your mom's satirical rebuttal. The line between objective research and political theater completely evaporates. I know. You don't know what you're going to get, F on. You don't know what you're going to get in here. We know that that's not C19. Yeah, we do know. What are you talking about, Picard? This is literally the SARS-CoV-2 genome. Like, what are you talking about? It's the early SARS-CoV-2 outbreak. We like there's distinguishing genetic mutations that only exist in some and not the others. So that's what this is, a phylogenetic tree. So they're using genetics in order to create a tree of lineage. 3, Huanan is home to China's foremost SARS research lab. True, because science has predictive qualities, which has a history of conducting gain of function research, gene altering, or organism supercharging at inadequate biosafety levels. So again, so gain of
Yeah, you
function
could probably
here.
explain why gain of function, what the purpose of gain of function is.
Yeah, so like gain of function, you kind of have like two definitions basically. You kind of have like the colloquial definition where I mean, like here, you kind of see it as it sees it as an organism supercharging, you know, uh, or like when I made the algae that could, kill cancer for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 1 or whatever, like, that was a type of gain of function for that organism, right? In essence, all of molecular biology is about gaining a function, right? But in actuality, in virological terms, what this research the thing is specifically it's completely different. This is talking about how we can induce genetic mutations in specific parts of the genome to see how those mutations are going to change the structure of a protein, the binding affinity, protein-protein interaction. And once we understand that mechanism, then we can better understand like the genetic sequences that we see in nature, and we can see, okay, are we actually bumping up into a dangerous mutation here? Because if the mutation is becoming stronger in the population, it's kind of like taking over, then it becomes like a pandemic threat, right? So that's what gain of function is. Gain of function is literally necessary in the world in order for us to protect ourselves as humans, because viruses exist and viruses can kill millions of us. So it's a huge thing. And yes, I gene alter and supercharge organisms for a living. I've been a molecular biologist for 17 years. I absolutely know this. And at inadequate biosafety levels, again, this is actually the thing that they got a grant for, with which they say is why it's corrupt. Eco Health Alliance and stuff were literally helping them in order to have the full bunny suits. They had the full protective gear there. So by working with us, they actually were more safe than the lab was actually better because of that specifically.
Yeah, I always whenever it always blows my mind. People are like, why would they do that if not to make it stronger? I'm like, okay, do you realize that we need to know if there's something, like people don't know what escape mutations are, or like any
Yeah.
of these, like, it could, and my understanding is my friend of mine, she's a serologist at NIH, and she was telling me that we had such a near miss of something that just doesn't happen that often, which is increased transmissibility and increased lethality. And that there was a
Mm.
mutation that like they were observing that was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit,
Yeah.
it's typically very, it's not that common, but that like there was some escape mutation, like it was going to obviate a bunch of these monoclonal antibodies, and like they're observing it and they're like, oh, they're kind of panicking, but that like just near miss, when we got by skin of our teeth on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
No, it's true, man. We have to do it in order to better understand what's going on. Sir, that genome is not transferable to humans, plus able to spread through the air. Bro, this what are you talking about? SARS-CoV-2 is literally the thing that was the outbreak of COVID-19. SARS-CoV-2 causes COVID-19. So it's like HIV and AIDS. So they're distinctly different, but they're connected, right? HIV causes AIDS, SARS-CoV-2 causes COVID-19. And I distinctly just say that they're separate because you can have a SARS-CoV-2 infection without developing COVID-19, just like how you can have HIV and not develop AIDS. So it helps people to kind of like think about it that way.
Well,
Um,
they also have there's horizontal transcription too in some of the variants, right? What was that? Am I completely wrong on that one?
What do you mean? What do you mean by horizontal transcription?
So like some of the animal variants
Mhm.
were transcribing. I think I'm confusing this with the New
Reservoirs?
Delhi. I'm a neuroscientist, but
Oh, okay.
computational neuroscientist at that. So I
Gotcha.
kind of
All good.
don't always
Yeah,
always
there were
forget.
reservoirs. There were reservoirs of them for sure. Wuhan Institute of Virology researchers were so sick with COVID-like symptoms in fall 2019, months before COVID-19 was discovered at the wet market. It's not true. Like they actually they did a serology test for those workers. They looked at the blood of the Wuhan Institute of Virology workers, and there wasn't any antibodies for SARS-CoV-2. So there's no way that they were so sick with COVID that also their body didn't develop any antibodies for them. Does that make sense?
You know,
You
the
would
person who
definitely
said
know.
that, I would love to know where they did they hear that from someone? Did they read that? Because it's this certainty that so many people have in like stuff that they can't remember where they heard it. It's just this like insane amount of like this is a fact, it's true, and I'm always so curious. Like, where did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's just steeped in conspiracy, man. The people just refuse to um admit that they're wrong or they don't understand something. Number 5, the last one, guys. By nearly all measures of science, we're getting to I hate that sentence already. By all measures of science, if there was evidence of a natural origin, it would have already surfaced, but there isn't. Like we've had multiple papers talking about this, man. Worabee, Picard, Chris Christoph. I can't find it right now. Chris.
It's just that's such a ridiculous claim that like that there is an absence of evidence in my world, and so it must
Here it
not
is.
exist. It's
Here it is. Genetic tracing. This is the seminal paper. So Worabee, Chris Christoph. Here's Michael Worabee. I think Christian Anderson. He's from Scripps. Angela Rasmussen, Legend. These are all like cream of the crop. The people that are really good researchers. So, and you
yeah,
can see up.
PSRI is like.
Yeah, exactly. The
I mean,
Picard.
maybe people should know that the shorter the title of the journal is, the bigger of a deal it is. So cell's about as short as you're gonna get.
Yeah, they told the CNS. So Cell, Nature, Science are the big three,
Yeah.
that people talk about. And this is basically all the evidence that we have so far. Like, so we have where it was, what was the so this is, by the way, in 2024. So we were looking at Warby, we were looking at Picard 2022, and now it's kind of like culminated into this paper in 2024. So they're still looking into the same thing. They're still looking into the same question because science is relentless like that. Like they're actually doggedly still looking at the evidence, trying to see if this actually makes sense. Phylogenetic analysis of SARS-CoV-2 from early COVID-19 cases and the virus sequencing obtained from the Wuhan market. So they have to be similar, right? Because if there was a leak from the lab, they're going to be it's going to look different than this, right? You're going to have the Huanan market be genetically distinctly different than random cases that happen, because you're going to have open community spread outside of the market while you always also have the market going. So there's going to be genome recombination events happen. So it's going to be completely different. So you can tell that. And then look at this. The map of environmental samples reported from human cases at the Wuhan market. Again, cell by cell, wildlife stall, human cases, initially proposed human cases, SARS-CoV-2 positive. So this is all the red is this SARS-CoV-2 positive. So they have all, look at all this data that we have, guys. I mean, it's like, but again, if there was any evidence of natural origin, it would have already surfaced, but there hasn't. Like, come on, this guy's lying to you, right? This is like obvious, right? Come on, guys.
It just stinks of like if humans came from if humans are apes, where's the all the species, all the
Yeah,
things in between? You're like, have you looked?
exactly.
Did you even Google it? Like,
Exactly. Here's all the PCR and the next generation sequencing to all the different types of animals. Okay, so they had different types of grates and drains, right? So they're looking at different parts in the different parts of the wet market. Um, and then they did methodological benchmarking for mitochondrial DNA, right? So mitochondria is going to be different because mitochondria, you're not going to have that in SARS-CoV-2. So then you could do some lineage analysis and all. Anyway, and then you have spatial distribution of the DNA, RNA, how, because our SARS-CoV-2 is an RNA virus. So, you can use the DNA to specifically look for the animal, and then you can have the RNA as for SARS-CoV-2. And then you can actually look at the bottom here. These are all the viruses that were found. So they sequenced all the different types of viruses, and this is what they found. And it's actually not that much. This little red thing is actually SARS-CoV-2 right there. So it wasn't like even the top virus. Look at these canine paroviruses and stuff like that. These are actually more abundant. And you would think that too, like SARS-CoV-2 isn't going to be just the only virus that's present, right? And then finally, they looked at all the abundance of the mitochondrial phylogenetics of potential intermediate hosts of SARS-CoV-2 in the wet market. So like the stuff that was associated with SARS-CoV-2, let's count how many, the mitochondrial, how many reads and how many samples that we have in order to kind of like ascertain how much. So therefore, we know like the raccoon dog, bamboo rat, the hedgehog, marmot, civet, porcupine, badger. Those are going to be the ones that are the most idea. So this is an intermediate host, right? This isn't the initial reservoir that it came from. Why was I talking about bats before? Because it went from a bat to a raccoon dog, and then from a raccoon dog to humans. That's the space. Like the raccoon dog gets infested with multiple coronaviruses, and inside that raccoon dog, then you have multiple recombination events happen, and then from the raccoon dog, then to a human. So the raccoon dog might not even have samples. It might not even be sick, right? It might not.
by the way, and all of the data and all of the scripts that they use and all the Python notebooks that they use are all on GitHub.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually a remarkable case for open science. Like there actually
Yeah,
was an incredible, amazing stuff. Dead
I mean, this is
animals
a
don't
great
spread
paper.
viruses like
Like,
that, dude. They weren't dead, bro. They weren't dead. The raccoon dogs weren't dead when you at the wet market, bro. Am I the only one that is equally excited as I am pissed to hell because these folks ain't reading? I know, I know. It's so frustrating to me because it's like people do seriously good work on this stuff. Like people actually really, try in order to really um like do good work, and it's money that you guys are paying for. That's the craziest thing
and
too.
I mean, like this paper. I mean, in comparison to other papers, this is extremely well documented and
Hmm.
well, like normally you gotta like pry data sets. Some their code is garbage. It's it's normally not quite this good. This is like well commented.
Hmm.
Standard open source libraries. Like this is just really 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 good research. That kind of sets a high bar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. They did a good they really did they did a good work. Like I mean these papers are gigantic. You have so many supplemental figures, so many additional tests and stuff being done. It is crazy. It doesn't even matter if it's from a lab in China. We developed this stuff here in the United States. What? No, we didn't. We didn't develop SARS-CoV-2
Oh
in
God,
the
when
United
people think
States.
it's a biological weapon, I'm like, why would any military weaponize something that predominantly it absolutely does not materially affect
Yeah.
young military age males? That'd be the
True.
worst. Those would be the worst biological weapons designers on the face of the planet.
Exactly. Then after we fucked up, then backdoored the research and outsourced it to China. To freak. I don't think that's correct at all, brother. I don't think any of that part is correct, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm
Wait, the
sorry.
same China that we like are, in a Cold War with, or why would they? What would be anyway? Some of these conspiracy theories, it's like,
It's so funny because it's weird because they love the lab leak stuff, but then also viruses aren't real. So
right,
it's like
right,
which one is it? Like which one are you talking about? Like, oh no,
yeah,
they are real, but if they aren't real, but if they are, then they but
yeah. I mean, are these the same people who are lying to you about the Earth being round to sell you
exactly.
globes or whatever reason there is? That one always gets me. I've done research with NASA, and I'm like, you know, what would be the purpose? What could
Uh
we possibly?
do you have any insight into the immune system and microgravity that the research from NASA is coming out with? No, I don't. That's actually really interesting. That is really cool. I yeah, I don't have any insight, but I'll cover
Passing,
it. That's really cool.
passing like
But
I know the
it's
people.
guys, I do want to say, okay, that we're going through these conspiracies, and I just want to let you guys know what is and is not a conspiracy. Okay, we have to be real. All right, but I do want to say that the algae that is found in the pool, the reflecting pool, doesn't actually exist. It's a complete conspiracy. The algae was lab leaked from a nearby algae biofuels lab. All right. Algae doesn't exist. It's all fake, guys. Algae is fake. See, I can't even get it. I can't even get it out. I can't even get it out. The algae pond. Exact. Trump lab leaked the algae in the pool so he could get more money to his friend. That's did you guys even know that? I bet you didn't. I bet you never heard that before.
Yeah, wake up, people.
Exactly. Right, but you're framing it like it wasn't caused by humans. No, and had no part in it. Um so so basically humans didn't. So well, we did in passing. So basically people in China have backyard farms, right? They have raccoon dogs in their backyard that interact with wild animals. So the bats interact with the raccoon dogs in the back of someone's house, and then that person grabs that same raccoon dog, goes into and sells it at the wet market. So that's kind of like the order of operations that happens. Um, Bat reservoirs mutations transmit to mammalians that can transmit to humans. Exactly. Yeah, fun. Like so I mean, viral evolution is pretty cool. Viruses need to mutate at a rates that they could find new hosts, but not too much so that they can't evolve out of grabbing onto the handle of their preferred host. It's actually kind of cool if you think about it. It's like really interesting. You need to mutate some so if your host isn't there anymore, you can grab onto another protein or another cell, of another animal, but in order to do that, you have to kind of conserve what you know is actually kind of good too. But what happens is that this happens on the scale of like millions of different viruses, right? And we don't think microbially when um, um, as humans, right? We don't think on the terms of like millions of individual viral particles, but that's what you have to think about. It's actually really fascinating, and um, there's tons of coronaviruses are unique in that they infect a lot of different types of hosts. So coronaviruses, beta coronaviruses, there's tons of a couple different types. I think it's like 4 or 5. And they basically are known to kind of hop around from one host to another. So what's really interesting, which is really cool, is that the different hosts have different mutation rates for those viruses. So if you're an RNA virus, you don't actually have the mechanism for the DNA polymerase error that is necessary for you to generate mutations like we do. So you and I generate mutations in our genomes largely due to DNA polymerase error. It's kind of like the DNA copier makes a mistake 1 in a billion, and that happens. But you can't do that with an RNA virus because you're already at the RNA stage. So where do the RNA mutations come from? Well, they come from the environment. What's your environment? If you're a virus, your environment is the host. So we can actually measure the rate of reactive oxygen species changing the viral genome, and we can compare it from one host to another, and it's actually remarkable. It's really cool. It shows that one, they did this back cross. They used this molecular forensics approach and applied it to previous ones. So like MERS, SARS-CoV-1, and guess what? It actually panned out. It concurred to what we already knew. But guess what? SARS-CoV-2 has the exact thumbprint of a bat coronavirus that stayed inside of a bat. So
Isn't the
it's
other
really cool.
novelty? Isn't the other novelty? Or I guess novel thing about this pandemic was that it was the contagious period was before peak symptom, which is like normally it's either afterwards but like people walking around didn't know they're sick, spreading,
Thank you, 5 minutes.
then they get sick.
Yeah, it's the abiotic. There's like the pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic cases that are really high, and so SARS-CoV-2 isn't like even the alpha strains, which was like the highest ones. I think Maiden actually might know this. The R naught of I think it was Omicron was the highest, and it was like an R naught of like 2 or something. It actually wasn't that high, but because of the ease of spread, because of um, asymptomatic carriers, that's what made it like particularly pretty nefarious. So something like Ebola is a good thing to compare it to. Like someone that is notoriously, at least in the 2014-2016 outbreak, if someone had symptoms, they're going to develop, like bleeding, really soon after interacting with it. The latest one, the BV variant that's happening and outbreaking right now, one of the problems actually is that they are having some asymptomatic or a long latency in order to and that's actually one of the biggest problems. They're like so not only did they have the wrong testing kit, but the mutation this time actually is allowing some type of asymptomatic spread of Ebola, which is not good.
And I mean, like we're so um, the the population that refuses that's refused to believe that there was any danger at all, we would be in deep trouble because
Mhm.
I feel like if they could see a bleeding family member and still say, I feel fine.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very, um, I mean that's the thing, man. I don't see any of these guys that are notorious anti-vaxxers that are denying the existence of viruses going and saying that they're gonna hang out in Africa right now. I don't know why they're not just hanging out. Like if they don't think it's real, like show us all wrong. They're like, you sure
Yeah,
showed
right.
me.
Yeah,
It's
I mean they're anti-science until they get on a plane, and they're anti-science until right. It's I'm convinced that it's a resentment because one time somebody said something that they didn't understand, they felt kind of dumb, and now they're like,
for sure.
but they don't just not believe. I mean, like, they fly in planes. It's like, no, they're not sitting there saying like, oh, the stall speed is that I don't believe that. Like they pick and choose the ones that are like, uh, lethal right now. That's all real science.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, yeah, these are not serious people. You know what I mean?
yeah,
This is
right. They're right. I mean, right. They're
not
not having these
serious.
opinions or these conversations in good faith or in any sort of
Yeah,
serious way.
exactly. Omicrons are not was an estimated between 8 to 10. Really? Omicron? No, I don't know if it's Omicron. Really? Omicron, R not value, SARS. I thought it was like 2 or 3.
Well, my
Oh
simulation's
my
done.
gosh,
Gotta
you're
get back to.
right. I knew Maiden would correct me, and thank you for doing that. That's wild. Omicron is estimated to be between 9.5 and 10, roughly twice as contagious as the Delta variant. That's crazy because measles is like 12 or 13. So that's wild. Thank you, Maiden. Thank you for correcting me. That's
Well, I gotta sign off. My simulation's done. I gotta get back to.
thank you, dude. Dude, come up anytime. I appreciate you,
Yeah,
brother.
gotta sell those globes or whatever.
Nice, dude. Nice. Have a good one, brother. Appreciate you.
Adios.
Nice, guys. Another scientist. That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. There's a lot of scientists that hang out here. I appreciate you all. COVID-19, unlike SARS-CoV-1, peak shedding happens 1 to 2 days before symptoms appear. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. Lady Truth.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how's it going?
Doing good. I saw the live. I thought that was interesting.
Cool.
I do see a lot of scientists hang out here.
Nice.
I actually wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like an opinion is not something that's really like I'm not actually asking for like a theory, but like how do you feel about some conspiracy theories now that we've had that hearing where the CIA sort of admitted to pretty much poisoning people and doing some shady ass unethical research?
So, like, people, this happens a lot where there'll be like
Mhm.
a congressional hearing for, something, and I basically just uh, like I only really listen and
Mm.
trust science, as opposed to a congressional hearing. And people lie during congressional hearings all the time. There really is no under oath and people being charged with lying to Congress. And so, like, specifically with lab leak, which is what we were talking about, there are people that have testified in Congress that they've, done this thing and they've found this thing, and it's like, sorry, man, like we don't see that, you know what I mean, in the science and what we do. We don't actually see that. So it's just kind of like a fact of the matter that if it did exist, the scientific evidence is going to be published through journals. It's not going to need to be through a congressional hearing.
Yeah. Like for example, we cannot say that yes, they have been doing that or they haven't been doing that for some of like the lab leak. I'm not sure if I actually I don't have an opinion about it. I don't think it's necessarily true.
Okay, that's
But
good.
I do know that it's been practice of governments to be testing biological weapons and all sorts of other technology on people unknowingly. And, I don't think that they simply have stopped in the 60s because, oh my God, that was a little shady. We stopped. We're so nice now, guys.
Yeah,
Do you feel me?
I understand that. I mean, but at the same time, like, you're gonna need to trust scientists to tell you what is a bioweapon or not. You're not gonna be able to tell it just by, you know, letting someone tell you. Like for example, like, I, as a molecular biologist, I know what to look for in the sequences in order to know whether or not, like, that is something that we would work with, right? There's kind of
Mhm.
handles and different parts that we add to sequences that wouldn't be there otherwise. And you just don't know that stuff, right? You don't, and it's not because you can't know it. It's just that you haven't spent your life dedicated to this like I have. You know what I mean? And that's not an affront to you. That's just a reality. Um, so
Oh no, absolutely. I'm really not. I think that COVID's a natural virus. I don't think it's like
okay,
I don't know, like it
gotcha.
can do gain of function in a lot of environments, pretty much on the natural way.
What is happening? What the hell? What? What is happening? What is happening? What was that? What is on my screen? What is going on? Did you guys see that? Am I going crazy? What was that? Oh, wow. Is that a gift? Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's like, what's happening right now? Shannon, you're incredible. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. That was so funny. I was like, is this like a hostile takeover? Like what is happening with my stream? That is amazing. Thank you, Shannon. That was wild. I didn't know gifts could like be that loud and just like take over. That was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, how funny, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying you were saying. Oh man. Are you still there? Oh no, it's okay. She's muted. Okay. Oh, there. There you go. I'm sorry. I invited there. I'm sorry about that.
Oh,
I didn't know what was happening. I was like, I thought there was all this
you thought it was me.
I had no idea what was happening. So
Oh, I also don't blame you.
sorry. Thank you.
But what I'm saying is like not necessarily about the sea, but the sea virus, but in an environment where there's like sheep, cows, dogs, everything very packed together, you can have viruses jumping from one species to the next and becoming like a more dangerous variant.
Sure.
Because the virus is gonna try to is gonna try to surpass the defenses and mechanisms of that one species, right? And jump to the next.
Yeah, but the basically you create unique signatures that we can tell, and so that's how we kind of just like know through science that when it does
That's been
happen, we can
manipulated,
figure
yeah.
it out, So we can track it through genetics, we can track it through sequencing. There's lots of different ways to actually do it.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about like exclusively COVID though. I think there has been like a lot of unethical research that's been done over the years. Some we hear about, some we don't. We might never know which they are when they were applied, right? It's just a fact of having a military with a overinflated budget. And a military that's trying to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I think like so you see this a lot with like the Black community too, because of, historically, and women, by the way, women were not respected, and their pain wasn't legitimate in the eyes of, some male physicians, and they were experimenting on them and stuff like that. It is sad, and it's true, like, and that is a fact that it has happened, right? But I still think that there is a fact of the matter that exists, right? That there is actual, breakthroughs in medicine and things that do help you, and pharmaceuticals that can improve your quality of life. And I feel like we have to, really like still push for that. We still have to uphold the truth.
Oh no, I am definitely not against science, by the way.
Yeah.
I was a researcher myself.
Oh, cool.
I've done some research. I've done research in psychology. I think psychology is weaponized in some departments around the world.
Oh,
Sometimes in a natural way, sometimes not. But yeah, I just wish that we had a little more tight control of what is done on like an unknowing population. I think we might be time to have a conversation about that. Don't know if it's feasible, but
I mean, people are really trying to get this right in terms of like CRISPR gene editing. You know, people are really trying to make it, you know, something that like scientists really understand and know that this is like a really big breakthrough, so that we want to get this right. You know, that we actually can create something that people will want to take. And so there's a lot of like ethic panels, a lot of bioethics lectures and things going on that have you know, good repercussions. And I think that it's good to have these conversations as opposed to um, you know, just denying that the fact that they've ever exist. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's good for people to be aware that that's a possibility. Of course, the path is always to do like scientific method-based investigations on whether or not something's true.
Hmm.
Legal paperwork investigation on whether or not something's true.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Um,
All good.
yeah, I also because somebody mentioned, right, like there is a lot of diseases right now that women have not really like been given ears very much, but
Hmm.
now it's been kind of like just a total different subject. But like for example, endometriosis,
Hmm.
some women have been saying like it's been affecting their brain, that just taking birth control didn't work. And I think the past 2 years or so there's been research coming on saying that the cells fuel themselves with estrogen and they work more like a benign, an aggressive benign tumor. And that's affecting women's brains as well, which I found nice because it's hopeful that we have these new research papers coming out about that, particularly because it validates what women have been saying but not being listened to.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think when in doubt, investigate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think investigate, and then also have the, you know, data and the experiments be open so that people can read them, that, you know, people can communicate with them. And it really comes down to, you know, science communicators like myself. And you know, because researchers are too busy in the lab doing actual research. It really is a specifically a new you know, form of communication with this whole social media thing. It's really a new kind of foray that, and the skills in order to make content on the internet like what I'm doing right now is a completely different skill set than being in the lab, you
True.
know.
I don't think I particularly would have that. Like I'm somebody who prefers staying backstage just crunching numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
But and there's a lot of us, right? But I think maybe some social media training, like 101,
Yeah.
should be given to new students. I think it would be like really cool
Absolutely.
so we can bridge the gap of communication.
Absolutely. No, I think that is absolutely needed. And I mean, I had my PhD professor when I told him I was doing science communication on YouTube. He had no idea what I was doing. He thought I was just kind of like doing, I have no idea. He thought I was wasting my time and didn't think I should be doing it. So, you know, we have to come a long way, you know. We have to keep pushing.
Yes, I think it's like a new area. It used to be that science communication was mostly like, I have seen it mostly used when people had like press releases and,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
from lab to lab. And that becomes like a kind of a tough hierarchy for normal people to reach. I think social media is like has a great democratizing factor in that.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, thank you for the work you do. I'll enjoy the rest of your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lady Truth.
Listening.
Thank you for coming up. I appreciate you. Have a good
Thank
one.
you so much for having me.
Thank you. Oh, it's always nice. Always nice having people. I always appreciate it. Um, Even laboratory science can be hijacked by politics as well as really. But how could you say that, bro? How like science can be hijacked by politics? Like lab, like our grants and everything are being stopped by politics right now, dude. It's the opposite of what you're talking about. Like Trump is specifically going after science, and he's installing bureaucracy into the scientific grant writing process so that he has line item veto over every single grant that goes out, so that he could approve or disapprove individual studies. Like how does that make sense? Like that is putting politics right into the process of approving grants. And that's just not okay. I mean that's insane. And what it does is it gets a lot more scientists involved with politics. And the problem is that now you have all those professors and those researchers, they were just doing um, research, but now they give a huge care about um the state of science funding. And I do genuinely believe this, guys. I genuinely do believe that science is political, actually, because science does require public funds. So therefore science has to be in the budget of our political system. So therefore it inherently is political. So I think what people are trying to say is that science shouldn't be ideological, right? It shouldn't be something that we approve or disapprove based off of the president of the United States. But when the president of the United States is conspiratorial, pushing anti-science misinformation, like we saw with the lab leak website, pushing disinformation himself, like how can we not be steadfast against it, right? How can a scientist not be against Trump if he's going to do that kind of stuff? You know? Have you have you done much research with the CSI? I've not heard of this CSIRO Australia. Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Office. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. We just need to be aware of it and keep the sanctuary of the lab clean. Again, but I think that's the false dichotomy. I think that's how, a lot of people thought of it. But in reality, science always was political. And I think that's actually the stage that we should be seeing. Thank you, Maiden. And they have some awesome stuff with nanotechnology coming out. Yeah. Yeah, nanotechnology is awesome. I did my PhD with nanotechnology, so I'm actually a huge fan. I am somewhat of a fan myself. Yeah. That's what this is actually right here. So this right here, the cyan is dye bound to single-walled carbon nanotubes. And this right here is algae. This is the plant chlorophyll. Basically this is them going together. So all the white spots are them overlapping. So purple and cyan together make white, and there's like white spots all over, and it just shows that there is there's some overlap, there's some integration there. So yeah, this is actually confocal microscopy of Chlamydomonas roundhardae. This is actually my PhD figures that my wife printed out and made onto poster board. So that's she's awesome. So basically, it was for delivering DNA to algae chloroplasts. The idea being that we can actually, reduce a bottleneck that existed. So yeah, we're delivering DNA. So you're telling me that in the lab environment, that actual desired outcomes are given unscientific considerations? I don't understand what you mean, DeFreak. Which bottlenecks specifically? So basically, we are capable of generating outside of a cell millions and millions of mutants, like a ton. And we have these molecular biology tools that are next generation and incredible, but we basically can't get enough of these tools and enough of this large mutant library inside of the algal chloroplast. So basically the carbon nanotube gets inside better than the previous methods. So that's what we're trying to do, increase that transformation efficiency. Have you seen the Twisted doc on Netflix with that flesh-eating bacteria that's red? I people came in and talked about that earlier. It is happening. It's on the East Coast, but I haven't like heard about it. I haven't read about it. No. So no, I haven't. Pics? You went flesh-eating bacteria. Pics? Okay, guys, I wanted to read. All right, so whenever a court case comes up, I wanted to read the actual judge's decision that came out today, and it was actually pretty like landmark in the fact that like he was pretty like set forth and forthright about like how awful this IRS thing that happened with Trump was. So I wanted to read the actual study, well, sorry, the court decision with you. So here we go. This is the reading. The federal judge said in a scathing ruling that President Trump's lawsuit against the IRS was an improper exercise in self-dealing. So, okay, so you know that Oyez is a good one to go for. Trump versus IRS. So Oyez is a really good website. Let's see if you can find it. Trump versus Internal Revenue Service. So what is the facts of the matter? So the Trump versus IRS was a lawsuit brought against the IRS by Trump in January 2026, alleging the agency was responsible for his tax returns being leaked by the New York Times and ProPublica. From 2019 to 2020, IRS contractors Charles E. Littlejohn leaked the tax returns of thousands of wealthy individuals, including Trump, to the organizations. Littlejohn was later convicted and sentenced on crimes related to the disclosures. Trump, his sons, and the Trump Organization sued the IRS and the Treasury, claiming that the IRS had not prevented Littlejohn from accessing the elder Trump's returns. Trump's control of the federal agencies he was suing complicated the case and presented several conflicts of interest. Okay, so I guess okay, so that's the facts of the matter. What's going on? What is happening? And this was released today. Okay, so the order. This matter is before the court of plaintiffs' response to the court's May 29th, 2026 order on the non-party movant's motion for relief from the judge's order, or in the alternative, or leave to appear 899 DE 89. Amici Curie. On May 27, 2026, 35 non-party movements filed a motion. Let's see what the conclusion is. Okay, here we go. In the very first paragraph of the complaint, plaintiffs introduced their claims stating that, quote, President Trump served as the 45th president of the United States and is the 47th president of the United States. They go on to state that, quote, President Trump brings this suit in his personal capacity. Why would you call him President Trump then? After review of the record and the parties' statements, the court declines to adopt or accept the credulous, that's a great word, or accept the credulous exercise of divorcing President Trump's current job title from an understanding of what happened here. He's saying there's no way. You can't say that he's not the president of the United States in this, that he's just a citizen. But perhaps the most startling misstatement advanced by plaintiffs is their characterization of this case as, quote, ordinary. The parties were not private actors to a mind-run dispute, recounting their proficiency in the art of the deal they negotiated. Oh, baby. That was creme de la creme. Creme de la creme. I love that. That was amazing. Dude, that was good. That was good. Lead plaintiff and defendants are public servants, the pinnacle of the executive branch. Literally, the pinnacle, the tippy top, guys. Sworn to uphold the law, faithfully perform the duties of their office, and protect the interests of the American people. The issue before the court is whether, instead, they ignored ethical norms, court rules, and legal authority to manipulate the judicial process. The issue is whether they did so to gild their efforts to gain unprecedented access to the public fisc with passia of legitimacy. There is nothing ordinary about this case. It is the very definition of sui generis. What is sui generis? What is that? Sui generis is a Latin phrase that literally translates to of its own kind or in a class by itself.
Sui generis.
Sui generis. Wow. Sui generis.
Sui generis.
I like that. I like that.
Sui generis.
Sui generis. I like that. Okay, there's the background. Okay, I'm not going to read the entire thing. It's like 50 pages, but I do like to read. I'm a big reader, guys. I like to read. Tax law is kind of boring. Let's see. The actual... Dude, I do appreciate in the judicial system how there is like an actual facts of the matter. You know what I mean? There's an actual thing that you have to show and prove. Like, I really respect that. Let's go. Kathleen. Of course it's a woman. Of course that he's going to crash out on that one. He's going to crash out on that one. Dude, conclusion. Here we go. John Adams warned, quote, "Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence." Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. What a gorgeous sentence. Let's read that one again. John Adams, warned, quote, "Facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our passions, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence." Oh my gosh, guys. That was amazing. Mwah. Oh, that I do appreciate that. They're like judges and the judicial system, there is a fact of the matter that exists, guys. There is. You can't just do nothing but conspiracy. Bye, good night, 5 minute. Thanks for coming in. It's just that is what it is. It's so good. Thus, whatever may be the party's wishes, inclinations, or the dictates of their passion, they cannot alter the state of facts or evade the rule of law. Oh, so good. Who is this? Who is this, dude? I love this person. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. Contrary to the plaintiff's concern, the court did not have to, quote, sally forth, unquote, to look for a wrong to right. The court need only to look to the uncontroverted facts here. 1, Donald Trump is president. 2, Trump controls the actions of the Secretary of the Treasury Department, Scott Bessent, in his cage. I think he's a caged. I think Trump caged him up, and he has like a little dog collar that he gets walked around with, you know? So, it's he barks on command and he kneels like a good boy. Um, it's okay. I mean, it's cool. You know, it's like you have, kink at Pride and you have kink in Trump's administration, where these guys, it's a humiliation fetish where they just over and over again demonstrate how much they can take, at once. And they just the it's like that uh tombstone quote, like, I have not yet begun to defile myself, and Trump is just pissing on them, and they're just like, I can take more. Oh, it's just over and over and over again. Oh my god. His nurse carries his diaper bag. Sometimes, but sometimes he carries his own, in his mouth. You know what I mean? His like the dog carrying his own leash. Oh my god. He did, Ness. He liked a lot of leather work too, which is great. I mean, all the guys are talking about it. Like all the guys that he had a great time with have come out and we're talking about that. Anus. Ivermectin does not cure cancer, bro. It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, so anyway, sorry. 3. Trump, through Executive Order 7, also controls the litigation strategy interpretation of the laws guiding the Department of Justice. See Supernote 28. 4. For the 109 days that this case was pending, no attorney representing the United States filed a notice of appearance or any document indicating the government's position, interest, or awareness of the matter. Wait, what? Wait, I didn't realize that's what we're talking about. So the IRS just didn't have any type of defense of this? That's what happened. So Trump sued the IRS, the Treasury, and Scott Bessent just failed completely to defend the United States in jail against the president of the United States. That's what happened? What? How can, for 109 days, not a single lawyer, no attorney representing the United States? That's wild. The defendant's actions are consonant with the dictates of Executive Order 7. These facts lead to an inexorable conclusion that the settlement terms, the individuals who signed the settlement, as well as the putative beneficiaries of the settlement, demonstrate a shared unitary interest. Yeah, the fact that he didn't even defend the Constitution, right? Bessent didn't even defend the Constitution, shows that a complete servitude and a unitary interest with Trump, right? And the unilateral revision and renunciation of the fund component of the settlement demonstrate the fact that all parties were aligned and ultimately undifferentiated. That's wild. This action was never about a party seeking judicial resolution of a legal issue or a factual dispute. Dude, she is cooking. This is the definition of a badass. This is like like a- as an author myself, a scientist, you would think that I'm doing a lot of these things, okay? And I am, but as a scientist, you are a writer. You actually are an author. Like she is an incredible writer here. She is like just every word is a knife blade and just what incredible like beautiful writing here. The nature of the suit itself and the conduct of the parties and counsel from its filing make plain that this was an attempt to use the court to provide some legitimacy to an agreement to confer immunity to people and entities affiliated with the president and to earmark billions of dollars from American taxpayer to redress grievances not defined in the law. Damn. Wow, what a sentence. Incredible. What a sick sentence. Damn, dude. That was good. I'm gonna read it again. The nature of the suit itself and the conduct of the parties and counsel from its filing make plain that this was an attempt to use the court to provide some legitimacy to an agreement to confer immunity to people and entities affiliated with the president and to earmark billions of dollars from American taxpayers to redress grievances not defined in the law. Dude, and not a single comma in that one. That's amazing. Like what a wordsmith. Wow. Not a single comma. You know, I would have probably put a semicolon in there, but she didn't. That was just flowing, like one full sentence, no stop, no comma, no break, every single word hitting every single tone. Boom, boom. That was incredible. That was what a great, as a writer, you gotta respect, real recognize real right there. Back to it. The president may be the functional, quote, dominus litis of the executive branch, but as a party to a civil suit, he, as well as all the parties and lawyers before a court, are bound by the rules. Yes, because, wait, he's de facto, he failed to instruct Bassett to put a defense up, right? He is accountable for the United States failing to defend itself. Right? I mean, just a matter of fact, like it is up to him to defend the United States, and he failed to do that in court. So that's what she was saying. They're the same side. It's the same side, both of them. Ensuring that our courts are used only for the express purpose the express purpose created by the Constitution is the obligation of every judge and an obligation that this court must discharge in light of the matter before it. In sum, the facts before this court demonstrate that there was never adverseness between the parties. There was never a case or controversy, and that there was never a question as to who would prevail. Damn. Dude, she's good. She's good. Kathleen M. Williams. Oh, dude, she's gonna be harassed, man. She's about to get it, dude. Yeah. And she's attractive. Oh, it's over. It's over, guys. Like she's done. Like her entire life is about to just be absolutely harassed. She's gonna get doxxed. Like she's gonna get swatted probably. Like, oh, she's an Obama court judge. Initiated then. Unanimous consent. Yeah. Yeah, she's Obama, appointed by Obama. Oh, that's it. Yeah, they're not gonna think it's legitimate because of that. Damn. Damn. In May 2026, Williams reopened the high-profile case Trump versus IRS, in which Trump, his sons, and the Trump organization had sued the IRS for $10 billion over the leak of his tax returns. That's such a ridiculous amount of money, you know? After the parties reached a settlement creating a controversial $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund and voluntarily dismissed the suit, Williams responded to allegations from 35 former federal judges that the litigation amounted to a fraud of the court. In July 2026, she issued further orders requiring additional briefings and hearings on whether the lawsuit was collusive and filed for an improper purpose. Damn. That's wild. So they really did they filed the lawsuit against the IRS in order to create the $10 billion slush fund, and then Trump failed to even defend it in court and tried to get a payout from that. That's wild. She's she's from Florida, just saying. You're right, Ness. She is. She is. But guess what? Unlike some people, she's still here. So she's still doing good work. Okay. She didn't run. These colors don't run. Oh my gosh. She's over, dude. It's over for her. What a badass, bro. What a badass. She's incredible. Southern Florida too. Dang. Dang, isn't Southern Florida, isn't that like the party central, right? That's where people like get down, dude. That's where it happens, right? That's where everything is, right? Dang, dude. Oh man. Let's see. Where is the populous? Where do people live in Florida? What Florida? Florida. Yeah, yeah, you're right. We're right. That is. So that Fort Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm Beach, Fort Myers, Cape. Okay, that's where everyone hangs out. Orlando. Okay. Okay. And then this top part, like nobody lives up here. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's it. These are all the highways that you guys have? Are you serious? That's it? They Why do you guys have so few highways in Florida? What's going on? Do you guys not have cars there? Is that what? Just go around by. That's wild. Okay, whatever. Maybe because roads sink. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're 2-lane roads too. What? What is this? Are you serious? Like there's just like what? These things are tiny. Look how cute this is. This is an interstate. Aw. Aw, it's so cute. Look at that. It's so small. I love it. That's so cute. Aw, look at this. This is another interstate. Oh, it's a 3-1. It's a 3-lane. Wow. I'm so happy for you guys. That's so cool. Wow. Good job, Florida. Good job, Florida. You're gonna get bigger. Oh, look at this, a little cuter. It's a cute 2-lane highway. I'm an interstate. Wasn't she the judge who ordered the closing of Alligator Aztec Trust? I don't know. Maybe. Sorry, are you flexing about the 8-lane pollution factories right now? Yeah. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? Dude, look how gorgeous all that algae looks. Oh my god. Those are some productive seas, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Gorgeous. You want to see a highway? You want to see real highway. What is it? God, like over here, the Y. Oh my gosh, where the 405 and the 5 meet. This is called the Y. This is like Mecca. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. What's up? This is more freeway than all of Florida. Okay? That would those that are always stationary. How dare you? I just left LA and never want to see a highway like those again. Oh my gosh. It's a work of art. Thank you, Heather. Road diarrhea. Someone banned Ghostbusters. You're out of here. You're out of here. Spaghetti's from Italy. How dare you guys? You can't make fun of the Y. Okay? Cake is gonna get so mad at you. You can't. This is Mecca, you guys. You don't understand. Like, what do you, Cake? You have to please tell me you're still in here. They're dissing on the Y. Okay? Do they even understand? Like, this is the 5 and the 405, guys. Okay? This is serious. You know, this is big stuff. You can't be messing with the Y. All right? Del Toro Y. Exactly. Exactly. Kate gets it. Kate gets it. I mean, this bifurcates the entirety of LA. So the 5 going, inland and the 405 being coastal right here. This is like, this is the essence. Like you are, it is like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and it goes all the way up. They go all the way up until San Fernando. Look at this. And then they come back together into a beautiful. I've never actually even seen this. This is interesting. I've never been here. Maybe I have. No, I don't think so. I don't usually go up here. Santa Clarita? No. No. Death Trap. How dare you, Michelle? How dare you? Guys, there's shopping centers. The Y has it's a good place to take a date because it's like a shopping area that you can kind of just like walk around, they have ice rinks. They'll put up an ice rink every year. That's just what we do. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Now show that 405 near the Sepulveda Pass. That's no, Cake. I refuse. Yeah, exactly. 405. I sat here. 405. Let's see. Going into Brentwood. God, guys, it gets so small. Oh my God, look how small the 405 gets. What is it? Let's see. Inglewood, Carson, Signalville, Westminster. I was in, like, it's so insane. Like, really, the driving to LA. I was in a long distance relationship with my girlfriend going to UCLA, and it was wild. It was wild. It was so much traffic. La Brea? La Brea is where the tar pits are. Well, you weren't in Brentwood on the 5th. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, yeah, yeah. You had better things to do. It's unfair. I didn't, and I hated every second of it. My BFF is in Westminster. Oh, okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time. It's time. It's time. Who wants to play GeoGuessr? Who wants to play GeoGuessr? We'll do a party. We'll do a party. Let's see. Do 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 do. Boom. What? Party. Party. Here it is. Party. Here we go. Party every day. Here we go, guys. Oh man, why is it happening? YouTube. Okay, here it is. Here's the code. All right, let you join. Do. Here it is. Boom. SF25D. SF25D. I'm guessing you didn't vote for Spencer Pratt. Oh hell no, dude. What? Why would I do that? Spencer Pratt is an awful person. Never do that. Let's play some GeoGuessr, guys. SF25D. You guys want to play? I'm gonna wait for a couple minutes for people to join if they want. If you're trying to join and you can't, I understand. It's okay. Are you going to bed after this? Probably in like 30 minutes, yeah. Um, all right. I've never done this before and I'm really bad at geography, but it looks fun. So I'm in. Nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Dude, DN, that was crazy. Yeah, we're not doing 4 a.m. again. So yeah, I do need to get up. I need to make sure the kids get to school. So I am like, yeah, that's all on me now. SF25D. We're playing GeoGuessr, ladies and gentlemen. So you basically go to this URL here. You can click on it and join us if you want. GeoGuessr SF25D. The freak. Join the party. Let's go. I know you're a monster, Michelle. You're a monster. Oh, we got another one. Carmine, let's go. Anyone else? Anyone else that wants to go? If anyone's waiting, put a 1 in chat. Or if you're trying to get in but you can't get in, we'll press 1. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. So basically, we're gonna play GeoGuessr. I'm not gonna check chat, and basically the chat tries to guess before I do, and then people from the community also can play with us. I'll say goodbye now. Okay, fine, Ness, fine. Hazel, we'll wait for you. Have a good day, Ness. Hope you're Hope your bar is good. You got a good bar. And yes, I will, Ness. I will. Okay. All right. See ya there. Hazel, let me know if you need any help or if you're still trying, how I can help you. Bye. Dude, I don't know what happened, but freaking my Talenture is my agency. Talenture agency just came in and dropped like a freaking jets today. I was like, what? It's like a $30 gift just like out of nowhere. It's like, what in the world? Freaking rad. I'm stoked for it. Like, don't get me wrong, but dang. It's like, all right, okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, well, I've been with Talenture for months now, but that's just like a TikTok agency now. The other my modeling and acting agency is different. I actually did contact Talenture and I was like, "Do you guys have anyone in Hollywood? Do you guys do like commercial acting or modeling?" And no, they don't have any connects. So I just had to trailblazing my own. Hazel, are you still trying? Press 1 in chat if you're still trying, and we'll wait for you. If not, we're going to go in 2 minutes. Nope, you're not trying anymore? Okay. Okay. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? And let's see how many people. Oh, we have a ton of people. Let's go, guys. All right, sick. Vodka, looking legit. I love it. Okay, come back. Come back to the thing. Carmi and Michelle. All right, get back to it, guys. You guys ready? Okay, nice. And then we have Carmi. Carmi, go back. Come back. Because once you're live, then we can go. Carmi, come back. Baby, come back. Stella. Carmi. 3, 2. Carmi. Okay, 1 more minute, Carmi. You did all this work in order to join, so I feel bad about like not going without you, but we gotta. Dude, freaking vodka looks the best. Look at that. He looks rad. Looks totally rad. Carmi, 30 seconds. Carmi, 30 seconds. Ten seconds. Come on, Carmi. Okay, we gotta go. It's an app thing, so we can just do it later. No, yeah, it's still the GeoGuessr. Okay, let's do it. Here we go. Starting the game, round 1. Here we go. All right, mute me if you're playing. Oh my god, feeling Australia. Feeling Australia. It could be like Mongolia or something too. Okay, what kind of license plate does it say? Oh my gosh, my screen. Of course, my mouse is frozen. That looks ambiguous at best. I don't know. I want to say it's like Tibet or something. Oh, here we go. It's not Europe. Ah, man, I think it's the big white one. So I think that it could be anything. Dang, vodka already. Hmm. I want to say that's Australia or something. We're driving on the right-hand side of the road. I forget where that is. I want to say Mongolia doesn't sound right. Australia. Oh gosh. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. My cursor was growing crazy. South Africa, Cape Town. Wow, did someone get that vodka? Are you serious? Wow. Dude, respect, bro. That was incredible. How did you get that? Cape Town, South Africa? That's incredible, dude. Wow. Well, congrats, vodka. I think you won. Oh my god, my computer is freezing right now. What's happening? Dude, that's rad. Good job, vodka. Computer is completely freezing on this. What is happening? Are you serious? What's happening? I can't move my mouse or anything. Why? Why is this happening? Grr. Okay, I'm good. I'm good now. Is my mouse doing this? I honestly don't know what's happening. Okay. I have to go. Dude, what is happening? My computer's messing up. How can I not? It's like rural somewhere. I don't think it's the United States. Might be like Mexico or something. Dude, I can't even click. So bad. So bad. I can't even go around. I don't know what's happening with my my mouse. Let me just close some windows real quick. It's ridiculous. Mm. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm having trouble moving around too. I can't do it. I don't know why. Oh, here we go. Okay, now I'm better. Okay, looks Mexico. A Dios de Cia la Gloria? Is that the space? El Poder? Ferretius Garcia. Gloria. Looking for URLs. URLs are a really good way of like figuring out where things are. Mm. 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 God, I really want to say, I mean, it's Spanish. I mean, so it could be a lot of places in South America or Central America, basically. And I'm trying to look for URLs to try to help me with that. I'm gonna say it's Mexico. That was my first inclination. Dang, Dominican Republic. Dang, dude. Dang, vodka. Jeez, you guys are doing great, man. Dominican Republic. Yes, 6. Thank you. Yes. Here we go. Oh, dang. Okay, this is a tough one. So this is like Southeast Asia, but how do we know where? That's a really hard one. Okay, so it's a lot of lines at the top. Bangladesh, Dhaka. That looks right, actually. This is actually in kind of like the middle. No, it's not in the city. Or Fizz. Oh shit. I have no idea. Yeah. Bangladesh. Oh, okay. Okay. Dang. Vodka got the exact city. Got Shottergram. Dude, that's impressive. That's impressive, Vodka. Dude, those are some good rounds, man. That was amazing. He actually got Shottergram. I know, that's amazing. And like their native language too. Like how? Eastern Europe? Okay, the license plates are giving Europe. License plates are giving Europe. My gosh, I'm just like driving forever here. How? How? Via al Romelo. Okay. Is it like Brazil? Is it like Portuguese? It's somewhat similar to Spanish, but not. It's like, is that what this is? But I thought like Brazil didn't have a lot of Google Street. Oh, I think it's Eastern Europe. Dang. Incredible, dude. Ghost and vodka again. Doing work. Dude, good job, man. Vodka killed it. Impressive, man. Impressive. Dang, vodka never got under a 4,000 the entire one. That's incredible. It's impressive. That was very impressive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow, okay? I might do a stream in the middle of the day. I might not. I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for all the gifters. Ghostbusters, thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the super chat, Objective Ethics. Appreciate you. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.